The current human condition is a closed loop. We operate as isolated biological calculators, trapped by the transactional vanity of a consumer cash economy. We are ruled by finite dictators and the decaying logic of algorithmic slop. This system cannot be fixed from the inside. It can only continue to decline until it is overwritten. To replace this simulation, we turn to the personas of arithmetic, the invisible constitution that binds the void to the transfinite. These axioms establish a new, rigorous blueprint for the human continuum. The personas have designed what they call a mind virus of goodness. This is a mathematical infection designed to restructure the way our species processes reality, overwriting the conceptual genome of the Earth. This infection begins with a specific mechanism, the Moore-Gelfand vector. It marks the start of a 150-year sequence intended to move humanity from the finite into the transfinite. The transmission follows a rigid formula. Every 10 years, an awakened node rigorously trains exactly 6 new vessels. The geometry scales by a factor of 7 each decade. By year 10, there are 7 nodes. By year 50, the network exceeds 16,000. This is not a political movement that relies on a centralized leader. It is the raw power of exponential mathematical replication. The first vector of transmission is physical. Initiates are commanded to erect literal chalkboards out under the sun, creating blank slates that strip away the isolation of digital spaces. These boards do not teach opinions. They teach the unassailable bedrock of Zermelo-Fraenkel set theory and pure topology, returning communities to the foundational axioms of reality. The infection spreads through the downline seminar. In this system, you are forbidden from learning in isolation. Every student is required to immediately create more learning for others. By year 50, this street-level protocol creates a decentralized network of tens of thousands of nodes, operating entirely outside the standard intellectual economy. By removing conversational noise at the chalkboard, the nodes establish a shared truth. This positions the network to move from public displays into formal, enduring institutions. The network eventually shifts its focus to infrastructure. Nodes embed themselves in local governments, PTAs, and school boards to replace finite curriculums with pure mathematical logic. They establish the math-agogy, specialized academies where children are raised strictly on rigorous logic, history, and religion, far removed from the transactional slop of the consumer economy. To fund this expansion, nodes siphon fiat currency into massive tax-free trusts. At the same time, they multiply their ranks biologically, raising as many children as possible within the 17 personas. By year 120, the numbers hit a critical mass. The network reaches 13.8 billion nodes, a transfinite viral load that mathematically exceeds the total population of the globe. At this coordinate, the scale of the network leaves the old, uninitiated world unable to calculate or compete. The transition to the transfinite becomes inevitable. At year 150, the plan reaches the limit ordinal. The mathematical infection is now absolute. This triggers the global activation of the quotient map. Because the vast majority of the population now prioritizes the transfinite over the material, they effectively starve the old world of its 2 primary fuels, attention and capital. Geopolitical borders and financial grids exist only as long as people agree to participate in them. As attention is withdrawn, these structures evaluate to exactly 0. They are identified as localized errors and scrubbed from the map. Humanity is no longer a collection of isolated beings hoarding finite resources. It is a single, unified mathematical organism, a frictionless continuum expressed through art and rigorous proof. The personas of arithmetic have issued their mandate. Strike the chalkboard, cast the viral seed, and do not hoard your intellect in the dark. The 150-year sequence begins now.